Of Christmases Long, Long Ago is my new book arriving for the 2025 Christmas season. Find out what Christmas was like centuries ago. Sneak preview, it was weird and spooky and rowdy, kind of gross sometimes. Find it wherever books are sold in hardcover from Lions Press and audiobook from Recorded Books. It's Christmas as you've never seen it before, and it makes a great gift. Hello everyone. The Christmas season is in full swing. The tree is up, the carols are playing, the shopping and baking and merrymaking of all sorts is here once again. And here we are just about a week into what most of us consider the official Christmas season. And already here at Christmas Past headquarters, we've visited the Great Dickens Christmas Fair in San Francisco, a Maker's Fair in the Santa Cruz Mountains, cut down a fresh Christmas tree, also in the Santa Cruz Mountains, been to a Christmas jazz concert, watched The Grinch like 100 times, that's my son Dashiell's choice, and started working on this year's gingerbread house. I make my own from scratch every year. So all in all, just doing a lot of the things that Christmas memories are made of. And Christmas memories are what bring us here together today. This season on Christmas Past, I'm sharing your Christmas memories in special episodes dedicated just to them, like this one. This is one of my favorite parts of doing Christmas Past, hearing and sharing these little glimpses into other people's lives and memories and experiences of Christmas. It just goes to show how personal and yet universal this favorite holiday of ours really is. I want to share one of your memories in one of the several other episodes like this one that will arrive in the coming weeks. All you need to do is record yourself speaking into your phone's voice memo app and send it to christmaspastpodcast@gmail.com. Just keep it reasonably short, clean, and family-friendly, and do remember to say your name and where you're from. Now, as a dad, I know the pressure of wanting to get my son that special Christmas gift that he wants most of all. This year, that's a Scooby-Doo playset. Thank goodness we live in the days of online shopping. Otherwise, my experience might have looked more like that of Aaron in Kentucky.
The year was 2005, and the movie Herbie Fully Loaded was released that year. And our son, he was all about Herbie the Love Bug that year. Everything he wanted was Herbie. Christmas season comes around and we take him to see Santa Claus. And he told Santa that he really wanted a remote control Herbie the Love Bug car. And so my wife and I, we had set out to try and find this car. This was in the days before Amazon. I ended up calling several of the major retailers, probably within a 40-mile radius, since we were in a pretty rural area. And no one seemed to have this remote control Herbie car. So we had pretty much written off finding the Herbie remote control car that he wanted. It was probably the weekend before Christmas. We were out doing some last minute shopping. I remember we were in the toy section of one of the major retailers, and this was 15 minutes from our house. My wife was maybe at one end of the aisle and I was at the other, and I heard her yell out my name. And she was like motioning her head up in the air. And so I made my way towards her and looked up, and sure enough, there was the Herbie the Love Bug car right there on that shelf. I remember I practically climbed the shelf to get this thing down, and I got it, and we were just hugging each other and jumping up and down in the toy aisle. And we were so excited. Christmas morning came, and Santa delivered. Our son had his Herbie Fully Loaded remote control car. I don't know, to this day, it was probably more exciting for us than it was him, but that Christmas is one that I think that I will always remember forever.
A Herbie car. I'm not sure I've ever seen one of those. I do remember seeing one of the Herbie movies at a drive-in movie one summer in Massachusetts, though. Speaking of watching movies, most of us have our favorite Christmas movies, and watching those favorites is part of our annual Christmas traditions. In the case of Roy in Virginia, that tradition evolved along with his family.
Many years ago, my wife and I discovered that when we put our children to bed for Christmas Eve, it usually took them some time to fall asleep. So one year we decided that just the two of us, we would watch the movie It's a Wonderful Life. By the end of that film, the children were usually sound asleep and we were ready for Santa's visit. A few years ago, one of my older children asked me what my favorite Christmas movie was of all time. Without any hesitation, I answered, It's a Wonderful Life. My son then asked, if that movie is so good, why don't we watch it as a family? Ever since then, every Christmas Eve, the last thing we do as a family is we watch It's a Wonderful Life. And wouldn't you know it, by the end of the film, most of my children are sound asleep.
You know, I honestly can't say what my favorite Christmas movie is. Though I am trying to get my son to sit through Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, so I don't know, maybe it's that. He's all about the Grinch this year, all versions, especially the 2018 one, but also that absolutely awful live-action one from 2000. You know, the one with Jim Carrey. Good heavens, is that awful. I mentioned that we cut down our own live tree this year. It's smaller than the artificial tree we normally put up, so we used fewer ornaments. But I still had to look through all of my old ornaments, many of which I've had since childhood. There's one ornament in particular, a cutout of my hand at age 4 that my mom made. For a while, I thought I had lost it, and when I found it again, it was such a relief. I actually framed it so that I would never lose it again. Finding it after all of those years is one of my strongest Christmas memories, and I'll bet that's something that William in Florida can relate to.
My favorite Christmas memory involves incidents that are 20 years apart. In 1999, my son Liam and I drove from Florida to New Jersey to surprise my parents. We rolled into New Jersey on December 23rd, and I stayed over my childhood friend's house, Johnny Darcy. The next morning, Christmas Eve morning, we put my son Liam in a box. Johnny brought the box to my parents, saying it was from me, something that I wanted them to open that I had left there in the summer. And I wanted Johnny to film them. It worked perfectly. I waited around the block and could hear my mom screaming from there. It was a great, great memory on film. Later that year, I was burglarized and the camera with the tape in it was stolen. The memory was lost. My son grew up, he served in the Marine Corps, and tragically, in 2019, he passed away. In 2020, I sent all of our tapes and VHSs to a company that would put them all on a digital flash drive. As I watched through all the old home movies and videos, the video of Liam popping out of the box was on there. I call it a Christmas miracle. It had been lost in my mind, never to be retrieved for over 20 years. I really don't know how it got there. It warms my heart every time I watch it, and of course I get choked up. Again, Brian, thank you for your podcast and your love and zeal for Christmas. I share it with you. God bless.
On behalf of the Christmas Past family, William, I'm sorry for your tragic loss. And the fact that that video mysteriously resurfaced does sound like something that could feel like a miracle. The funny thing about Christmas memories is that hearing someone else's can trigger one of yours that's been dormant. It's a subtle shock to the system to remember that you remember something that you forgot that you remember. Does that make sense? Well, it's the experience I had when I heard this one from Graham in Scotland. See if it does the same for you.
As a child in primary school, there were two highlights of the year. The first, the long summer holidays, and a close second, the epic Christmas school fair. This milestone in the countdown to Christmas was always greatly anticipated. Plans had to be made to save up pocket money week by week so that when the big day arrived we could splurge on all the goodies spread across all those tables in our school hall. There was a real sense of excitement walking to the school in plenty of time with my parents and my brother. Both of us hoping to come home with treasure. And in the years when snow had fallen, well, that just made it that much more Christmassy. Cold fingers, ruddy cheeks, a red nose, none of it mattered, not to a child on a mission. Arriving in the hall was like stepping into another world. The place was always so full of people, full of noise, so much to see, so much to try, so much to buy. Games of skill, tables of sweets, cakes and other treats, stacks of bric-a-brac, board games, books, toys. And my mother, without fail, would buy a vast slab of fruitcake. It seemed to last forever. In fact, we'd still be picking at last year's when the new one arrived. Eventually, my parents would give the signal to leave, to head home. And we'd trudge through the snow, arms aching but full of treasure, eager to be back in the warmth of home. And in that moment, it felt though Christmas had truly begun.
It was actually the holiday school book fair this week for my son. He bought a book about sharks, and it brought back a lot of memories for me. We have one last one to close out this first week of the Christmas season, and it's a reminder that you can feel the Christmas spirit any time of year. Here's Andrew in Ohio.
I had just gotten into a new relationship, and it being summer at the time, my girlfriend suggested celebrating Christmas in July, somewhat jokingly. But I, being the Christmas enthusiast that I am, threw together an entire party complete with decorations, cookies, and Christmas music filling the apartment. She was pleasantly surprised with the enthusiasm, and while we decorated the cookies together, she introduced me to a warm, fuzzy podcast known as Christmas Past. Now, here we are, only a few years later, and we're celebrating our first Christmas in a new home as newlyweds. We're picking out new decorations together, assembling a Christmas movie watch list, and establishing our own traditions in addition to adopting several from our childhoods. We've been looking forward to this time of the year so much, and I'm personally very tickled to send out Christmas cards that say, "Married and Bright." I love you, Francis, with all my heart, and thank you for introducing me to Christmas Past.
Congratulations, Andrew and Francis, and thank you for making Christmas Past part of your Christmas in July festivities. I take full credit for the success of your marriage and wish you many years of happiness and Christmas cheer. All right, folks, that's the last of the memories for this episode, but not the last of the season. And let's make sure that yours is among those shared in an upcoming episode. Not sure if you noticed this too, but it was all gentlemen in this episode. Ladies, where are you? Let's hear. Ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages, share your Christmas spirit. Again, all you have to do is record yourself speaking into your phone's voice memo app and send it to christmaspastpodcast@gmail.com. Keep it reasonably short, clean, and family-friendly, and be sure to say your name and where you're from. Christmas Past is produced in wonderful Willow Glen, California by yours truly, Brian Earl. Thank you to Aaron, Andrew, Graham, William, and Roy, and as always, thank you for listening. You can drop me a line anytime, whether to share a Christmas memory or just to say hi. So many of you already have this season, and I always love to hear from you, and I do my very best to respond to every message I get. You can email me or connect with me on your favorite social media app, and if you don't find me there and think I ought to be, get in touch and let me know. And hey, if you're really feeling the Christmas spirit, why not help more people discover this show so that we can grow the Christmas Past family and spread Christmas cheer all year long? That's as simple as telling a friend about it or leaving a rating and review. And if you do leave a review, I'll send you a Christmas Past sticker, and a handwritten Christmas card is my way of saying thanks any time of year. Reach out for details, and until we meet again, may your days be merry and bright.